The Buffalo Bills finished the 2024 regular season with a 13-4 record, and they've been one of the more dominant teams in the NFL over the last 18 weeks. But now, it is time for the second season, the playoffs, and at this point, it's do or die. The Bills once again have Super Bowl aspirations, and anything short of a Lombardi Trophy will be considered a disappointment for this team. In order to get that elusive Lombardi Trophy for the first time in franchise history, Buffalo will need to win 4 games that will progressively get harder and harder, and in this video, we're going to examine the Buffalo Bills' path to the Super Bowl. Welcome back to the Bills Bunker, everybody. I'm Jake Varco, and I can't believe it, but the playoffs are finally here. The regular season has just been flying by, but it has been a blast. This season, we've reached over 12,000 subscribers on the Bills Bunker. Let's try to get this thing to 15,000 by the time the Super Bowl rolls around, and hopefully the Bills, they'll be playing in that game. In this video, we're going to look at the Bills' path to getting there and eventually hoisting that Lombardi Trophy. Click subscribe if you haven't yet. Click like on this video if you like the video. Let's talk about the Bills' path to the Super Bowl. Because Buffalo finished as the AFC's number 2 seed, they've guaranteed themselves home field advantage through at least the divisional round, and they'll begin their playoff journey in the wild card against a young and hungry Denver Broncos team. The Broncos have been solid this season, and they're a well-coached team by Sean Payton, but Buffalo's playoff experience should be enough to catapult them to victory, advancing to the divisional round. And in that divisional round, Buffalo will take on the highest seeded team to come out of the wild card round games, which will most likely be the Baltimore Ravens. There's obviously a chance that Pittsburgh upsets the Ravens and Buffalo gets the winner of the Chargers-Texans game instead, but I don't see that as a very likely scenario. Assuming that the Ravens and the Bills both take care of business in the wild card, it will be Baltimore heading to Orchard Park to take on the Bills in the divisional round. We know that these two teams played earlier this year, and the Ravens crushed the Bills. However, a lot has changed since then. The Bills are a very different team than they were back then, and it is difficult to beat a good team twice in the same season. This is obviously a game that can go either way, but in this scenario, it's Buffalo advancing to the AFC Championship game, where they will most likely meet the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Because Kansas City was the top seed in the AFC, they have earned a first-round bye, and they won't have to play until the divisional round, which means they can rest up their starters, get healthier, and then in the divisional round, the Chiefs will take on the lowest-seeded team that advances from the wildcard games, and they'll likely have no problem defeating them as well, setting the stage for another showdown between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to decide which team represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. Games between the Bills and the Chiefs are notorious for being instant classics, and this game would be no different. But this time, it's going to be Buffalo going to Kansas City and ending the season of the Mahomes-led Chiefs. With that, Buffalo wins the Lamar Hunt Trophy as the AFC champion, and they head to the Super Bowl to take on the top team from the NFC Conference, which is in all likelihood going to be one of the Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings, or Green Bay Packers, and I'll also give the Rams a long shot chance to make it as well. Super Bowl 59 is set to go down at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans on February 9th, and this could be the year that we finally see Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills win their first Lombardi Trophy in franchise history. But first, they'll need to go through a difficult path to get there. They'll have to go through the Broncos in the wild card round, then likely the Ravens in the divisional round, and then they'll have to slay their demons by going to Arrowhead Stadium and finally beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs when it matters most. That's just to get to the Super Bowl, and then they'll take on the best from the NFC in a showdown to decide who wins the Lombardi Trophy. So the stage is set for the Buffalo Bills. This is exactly what the Buffalo Bills will likely need to do in order to win the Super Bowl. You got to go through Denver in the first round, but then it's only going to get harder from there. Baltimore, that's probably a real problem. Going against the Baltimore Ravens, we saw how it went earlier this year, but I still like the Bills' chances in that game in Orchard Park. And then going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, a team that the Bills have struggled against in the playoffs. They just haven't been able to get by them. Closely contested games over the last few seasons. 3 of the last 4 years, Kansas City has eliminated Buffalo. But this time, if the Bills are going to win that Super Bowl, or even just get to that Super Bowl game, they're going to have to beat Kansas City in Kansas City. That's assuming that Kansas City takes care of business in the divisional round, which I don't see why they wouldn't. So, Buffalo, this is their path to the Super Bowl. I'm hoping they can do it. I will be at every home game throughout the playoffs, and hopefully road games as well. We'll see. So stay tuned for all that content coming your way. Live reactions, interviews with fans, all that good stuff right here on the Bills Bunker. Hopefully some more reading dumb comments after Bills wins as well. Hopefully we got a few more of those left in us. So it's put up or shut up time for the Buffalo Bills. Gotta have the pedal to the metal. This is where legends are made. So click subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video if you like this video. Let me know your thoughts on the Bills' path to the Super Bowl. Do you think that this is the year the Buffalo Bills get to the Super Bowl, go to New Orleans? Let's hear it in the comments section down below. I'm Jake Varco. Thank you for watching. This is the Bills Bunker. Go Bills. Let's get this. Let's do it.